that's kind of what I want to get into now, because I do think that sports betting, on one hand, has opened up certain games to a lot of different people that might not have watched them before. Like you get that with the Final Four, right? Like everybody's getting got a Final Four pool.
Bracket, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of opens up a lot of people. Oh, this looks kind of interesting. Let me check this game out.
Mhm.
That's greatest case scenario, not even best case scenario. That's greatest case scenario. But usually it's just people kind of transfixed on a device, especially with also the ubiquity of fantasy leagues. Like I was watching the two Monday night games at a local bar here in Mexico,
Mhm.
and a buddy of mine said he's in like 4 fantasy leagues or something, and he had been losing all the leagues, and Terry McLaurin was one of his players, and of course he played in the Redskins game, and I told him towards the end of the game I was like, dude, I he's gonna catch a touchdown pass, you're gonna win your fantasy, da, 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 da. And the whole time he's like, but he's not even watching the game. He's
No,
watching he's watching his phone. He goes, I just need one catch for 12 yards. Now, for me personally, as a football fan, I'm a diehard football fan. My team is the Denver Broncos, and I can watch every game. The bar I go to puts every game up. So
yeah.
for me, it's heaven. I'm constantly on a chair that I can swivel around, and I'm watching every game, and I'm watching every play. And there is an artistry to sports that I love. For example, in the Olympics, there's some images from this past Olympics that for me are beautiful and mind blowing. Who is the Sha'Carri Richardson? Is that her name? When
Yes.
she broke that record and you see her just turn her head and
That
look
was
in the camera,
a
that's one of the
lot.
baddest shots I've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
Steph Curry shooting that three over
And he couldn't see
Wembanyama.
the hoop. You couldn't see the hoop in the freeze frame. He's like this.
Yeah, was shooting that over Wembanyama. These, for
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
that's the drama of sports that you get when ABC does like the wide world of sports, right? We're going to show you the drama. And we were talking about football and NFL films, which actually predates. No, I think they actually are about the same time as the wide world of sports. I'd have to double check. But anyway, they were amazing at the drama and the beauty of the game, not the players' personal lives, not the shoes they were wearing, just the game itself. What happened in the trenches. The autumn wind is a raider. Like that poem. I'm from Oakland, California.
That rings.
Every person I know that dare wear silver and black gets chills when that comes on. There is no song, regardless of genre, that can get people more fired up than that poem about watching a Raider game in autumn. I'm from the Bay Area. We don't have brown leaves. It stays green all year. But there's something about that poem that transfixes them, gets them ready for the game, and they lose their mind. I love that. Even though I hate the Raiders, I love that poem. I love that part of sports. Is that something that you saw as well, Clark?
I mean, you made me think of a lot of things. I'm thinking of watching the Ravens come out of the tunnel,
Mhm.
and you see, I don't know the name of the song that would come on when Ray would come out last,
Mhm.
but you would always see it in slow mo, and it as a non football player, someone who's never tackled a man in his life, I got this sense that I could come across the middle and knock someone out. And I'm 6'5", a buck 50 at the time, like, but it made me feel like I could access, whatever's going on in his shit. When he lifts the leg up and stomps it down and pulls one of these, I'm like, I'm watching this in slow mo, and I'm like, on a bad day, I could get moved to tears.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't know why. It's just like you understand something about what this. Even when Ray Lewis talks about sports, he'll come to the Miami Dolphin or the Miami Hurricanes locker room, and he'll talk about what it means to trust your brother on the field and being in sync as a unit. I get really worked up. I get
Mhm.
really emotional. Like these are the aspects of sports that have me try as I may to get into other endeavors, intellectually or academically, just kind of like they just are hooked, like can't get away from it. Like
Well, there's a direct line to left. To me, there's a direct line to leftism.
it's a movement.
If you dare try to do any sort of organizing, and you're not a team sports person, you're not gonna be very good at it.
Yeah,
You know, you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to work together.
yeah,
Right? When you play sports, I don't care what you play. I don't give a damn. You got to sweat with somebody. You got to work with somebody. You got to train with somebody. And not everybody is on the same page as far as like politically, the way everybody sees the world. You're gonna be around people that have some very different.
individually now though. Don't forget that.
Say again?
Everybody just trains individually now though.
Oh, it's whack, dude.
The track that sports is on, all the NBA players, they do their own individual, like practice time is being cut across all sports.
Really?
Oh yeah, the leagues are sanctioning. You can only have a certain amount of hours of practice, and they're all doing it for the players, the supposed players' benefit. But what happens is people just end up working out the sport as an individual, and you can see that in the way the NBA game has progressed. I don't know as much about how the football game has progressed, but this idea of even with football is always about this is the name on the front of the jersey,
Mhm.
either no name on the back, but it's certainly not about the name on the back. That's changing. The
Yeah.
contract, the money flowing through these new contracts, guys know, oh, we got to start a podcast. We got to get our faces out there. It's becoming compartmentalized more and more to the individual. And football was kind of the last stronghold of team is the Ravens defense. You don't think of Ray Lewis, you think of Ray Lewis, but it's
Yeah.
like that's a team defense. You could probably name 5 guys off of it. Now I think the trajectory that everything is headed in, I think sports betting and individual prop players is all a part of this. The individuation of these teams and the hypermobility of the players, everybody's moving at a rate never before seen from team to team. It's just connected to capital accumulation, both for the players and for the owners. But these sentimental days, I love romanticizing this show. I think it needs to be romanticized. But these days of like a Ravens defense that was a thing for a decade, I don't know if we see that in sports again. And I don't know that sports gambling is unrelated to that fact.